kuwa mkono ambao unalima ardhi, mlango wa mkulima kuwa mshindi, kuwa na uhakika sasa, kukulea mustakabali wa baadaye. Tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja, kuimarisha Kenya ni jukumu la Farm Kenya.
Well, hello there. This is Farm Kenya show right here on KTN, and today we'll be talking about Chinese cabbage. I mean, when you hear Chinese cabbage, of course you think about the Chinese, but today we'll be looking at Chinese cabbage in Kenya and what it takes for you to plant this particular type of vegetable in this country. We'll be speaking to Thomas Karanja, who is of course known by many of his customers and also followers as Thomas Karanja the farmer. Join us as we start this journey from the seedling to the market. Right, thank you so much for joining us. Now, let's start from the basics. When it comes to Chinese cabbage farming, how do you prepare your soil and what do you look at, especially when it comes to your soil?
First of all, welcome to our shamba. Feel welcome. So my name is Karanja. First of all, when you're farming the Chinese cabbage, you have to look to select a well-drained soil, which cannot, cause it doesn't like water from soil. So you have to select that soil which is well-drained. Yenye hata ukimwagilia maji, like maji haiwezi frog. So maji ina sink deep. Alafu kitu ingine, it requires a lot of sunlight, by the way, for it to flourish. It requires a lot of sunlight. So for the soil, you have to like a well-drained and alafu ikuwe fertile. And then the soil particles, when you have to, like, you prepare it in a nursery bed, then you crop it. After like it has germinated, like 3 weeks, you plant it on now the little shamba.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before twende kwa the seedlings and everything else, kwanza before hata tufike kwa seedlings, ukiangalia the seeds, when you're going to sort out the seeds, una choose which seed that is supposed to go into different types of spaces in the seedlings. What are the requirements unaweza ambia farmer anafaa kuangalia, especially when it comes to that? Because unajua siku hizi kuna certified seeds and also these other seeds that are not really certified.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like you have to go to an approved, mtu mwenye ako approved anauza. So like the agrovets, kwa agrovet utaenda upate, lakini lazima ikuwe certified. So when you go there and you get it, make sure iko satisfied, like inafikia hizo viwango. So then after that unakuja unaiplant. Yeah.
All right. So ukiweka sasa kwa seedling kama hizi zenye uko nazo hapa, they first of all they underwent a seedling type of growth.
Yeah.
Sindio? Okay, so how long did they stay there? And what were some of the management practices that you used uko to make sure that at least zime grow ndio zilete kwa shamba?
First of all, you have to prepare a seed bed. And in that seed bed, the soil has to be fine, the fine particles. You have to make sure they go very fine. And then you unatengeneza the trenches, then you plant your seeds there. Alafu unafunika, then you do what's called mulching. But you have to water. Then una mulch. Then from there unaipe like a whole week, ikianza kugerminate ndo unatoa the mulching, like you have to water it in the morning and in the evening. Yeah.
All right. So after you've taken care of it, water, make a mulching, how long does it take for it now to be ready ikuje na kwa shamba?
We can say around 1 month itakuwa ready. Since from the time it may germinate, you have to take a span of like, we say 16 to 30 days though we transplant from the seed bed to the main shamba. Yeah.
Alright, so tumefika kwa shamba. Na umeitoa kwa hiyo maneno ya seedling, umeleta sasa kwa shamba. So when it comes to how you prepare the soil for it now to receive this seedling, what goes into that, and what are some of the things that farmers can look at in order for them now to grow good Chinese cabbage?
Okay, first of all, when you are transplanting it, like you have to make sure like umetengeneza tu mitaro. You can use the mitaro or the holes, and when the spacing of the from one to the other, it has to be like, let's say 20 centimeters, because hii ni kitu ikigrow ina majani yake inakuwa kubwa. So like you have to, first of all, the soil has to be fine, because huwezi enda kutengeneza kwa mawe zenye ziko kubwa za mchanga. So when you're making your digging, you are preparing your shamba, you have to make sure that the soil is fine. It has the fine particles. Though pia when you're ukitengeneza the burrows and the holes, like haitakusumbua. So you have to, you make sure the soil is fine, then you mix with a well rotten manure. Unakuja unaweka kwa your holes or your trenches, alafu from there you water, because the moment utakuwa unatoa hiyo seedling pale ukileta kwa shamba, the main shamba, inaweza kauka. So in that process you have to make sure that before ukuje upande, the soil umechanganya mchanga na manure, alafu you have to water it. So at least hata ikitoka pale itakuja, it just take some like 2 days ndo adapt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So the 2 days after sasa adapt to whatever the environment is on the shamba, sasa tunaangalia the type of management. Ni maji inafaa kuwa watered for how long and how many days, and okay, how many times in a day, and also ni nini itaonyesha farmer that this plant that you may transplant is really thriving, because it might be thriving at the seedling bed, and then when you bring it to the shamba, it's not really giving maybe the healthy type of plant that you would want.
Okay, we can see in the first week, the way you used to water in the seed bed, in the seedling bed, unaweza kuwa ukiwater, then you start hardening it in the process after umeona like imeanza kugrow. So you start hardening it. This means like kama ulikuwa unaipea twice in the morning and in the evening, so you have to choose either utakuwa unaipea asubuhi, jioni usiipe maji, unakuja unapea the following day asubuhi, or you choose utakuwa unapea jioni, the whole night ina consume hiyo maji because hakuna nini, there is no sunlight. So alafu unaipea tena jioni. Alafu in that process unaweza amua you put hapo chini tu kando yake you will start mulching it. Do at least kama unaipea jioni, unaona mchana kutakuwa na jua na utakuwa unapea jioni the following day jioni.
Yes.
So you put mulching do izuilie hiyo maji kwenda sana, because it requires a lot of water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, still on that point of management, when it comes to spacing, how much do you need to space? Because every plant unajua ina grow expand, right? So when it comes to spacing, what are we looking at? And do you just put them anywhere?
No, you don't put them anywhere, because hii ni kitu nimekwambia inapanuka sana. So it's like a cabbage. So you have to uipe space around seme 30 centimeters from one another. Do hata ikiflourish hiyo like hizo matawi zake hazitaguzana pale.
Okay. Yeah. And now when it comes to the weather, ukiangalia, because you said it needs very good sunlight.
Yeah.
Yes. So when it comes to those areas where the sun is not really coming out, maybe tuseme the first 1 month you have maybe 5 days of sunlight. How will this affect the plant? Because remember, seasons in Kenya, and especially in this area, your region, you find that maybe the sunlight is not that much. So how do you make sure that at the end of the day, as much as the sunlight is not there all the time, you have a good plant?
So on that I can say, you can, like here in our region, kila mtu anajua venye season huku inakuanga. So like from July baridi inakuja, hakuna jua at all. So in that time you can start planting it on kwa the seed bed, Alafu August ikikuja, the July ikikuja kuisha, ndo ukuje uingie August, you transplant it because hiyo time kuna kuanga na jua. Yeah.
All right. Now, let's come to fertilization, especially not even fertilization. Now, applying of manure, because you spoke about mulching, you spoke about well-rotten manure.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, if a farmer is not able to access the manure, the well-rotten one, what would you advise as an alternative to that? And also, if you use different ways of making sure that this plant grows healthy, you can also give us that, because I can see they are very healthy. So you can also give us the secret behind that.
Okay, on that, I can say for me, I do organic farming. I don't use any fertilizers at all. I only use manure. That's from the start to the end until it goes to the market. But on that, I can say, for those who cannot access the manure, the well-rotten manure, the manure, there are people who sell. You can get the manure from there, or you can use the fertilizers. Yeah. Okay. For that, I can recommend. If you cannot access manure, you can use fertilizers.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's also look at, of course, every crop or every plant has a challenge of maybe getting the pests and diseases. So when it comes to this particular plant, when you look at the type of pests that can attack it and also the diseases, what would you advise a farmer to look out for? The common pests that usually attack this, and also even the diseases that usually attack it, so that at least, yeah.
I can say the pests that I've seen like attacking my plants, it's only aphids for now. It's only aphids. And what I did, it's like unaona hizo zenye ziko na aphids, nilikuwa naenda nazi-pluck out, nazitoa hapo, so that to avoid the transmitting to other plants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And now, when it comes to the sort of taking care of the plant, how long after you've brought it now to the shamba will it stay for it now to be ready for, harvesting, or to be ready to be taken to the plates?
Okay, for the Chinese cabbage, it takes 50 to 80 days for it to be ready. So within that time, from 50 days to 80 days, it's ready. Because when it exceeds 80 days, it like, unaona kama hizi zenye zimetoa maua inakaanga hivyo, inaanza kutoa maua. Yeah, it starts producing the flowers.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what does it mean when it's producing the flowers?
It just means it's too old. You can't have it.
It's too old, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. This is really nice. Okay, so when it comes to harvesting of this particular plant or crop, especially the vegetable that we have here, what are some of the requirements that someone is supposed to be having, or what is it that a farmer can look out for? Because I can see the leaves are a bit softer.
Yeah.
They're not very, they're not very tough.
Yeah.
So when it comes to harvesting, what is it that is supposed to be looked at? The precautions.
First of all, you have to be very careful, because when harvesting this, you can destroy it very easily because it's very soft. And when you are harvesting it, you have to just go to look at the big ones. You start with the big ones so that you can kujumalizia na hizi dogo, because you can't start harvesting like this one.
Yes.
So you have to start like the zile kubwa, and you go, unaenda hapo kwa nini yake, hapa chini, and you hold it. Then from there, you pluck it. Yeah. Huwa inangolewa yote ikiwa mzima. Then after that, ndo unaina the root, you cut it, then unaiosha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, let's also look at post-harvest management, because this is where we usually lose many of the produce from the farm.
Yeah.
Because of the handling, because of the storage.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to, of course, this is a vegetable.
Yeah, it's
so
a vegetable.
how do you make sure that you store it in a way that it's able to now go to the market, if it's going to the market, or it being ready for use after?
Okay, what I do is, when like nime-uproot hapa kwa shamba, I go, I cut it, then after nimeiosha hiyo mchanga yote from the plant, then I go naienda naiweka, after nimeiosha nai-uproot, that's nai-uproot, naenda nakata mzizi, naenda naiosha, then naenda naiweka pali open. Like away from sunlight because sunlight unajua huwa inafanyanga zikauke haraka.
Oh, so after you've harvested?
Yeah, after nime harvest, but mostly I do it around from 6 in the evening. Hiyo time hakuna jua.
Okay.
So at that moment wewe unajua uko safe. But handling hii kitu inakuanga very sensitive, you have to be very cautious about it because inaweza haribika haraka. So from there unaziweka pahali ziko open, pahali hazitakauka, then in the morning you pack them. Then you take them to the market.
Okay.
Yeah.
So of course when it comes to the handling part, the way you've mentioned, you need to be very careful. So what happens when now they have overstayed? Because you've said some are
they have overstayed in
they're giving us flowers, yes. But now when it comes to the color, does it, if it has overstayed, does the color change, and does this need to raise an alarm to the farmer to show them, okay, the plant is it needs to be harvested?
Yeah, the color do change. It just turns around pale green. Yeah. So that when you start you notice your farm, like the Chinese cabbage has started to turn, just know there's something not going well. Yeah.
Right. So now the farm has the vegetable has been harvested, the farm is bare. How do you maintain the farm to keep it ready for the next planting season or for the next seedlings that are going to come in?
So after harvesting, you have to give it a break, right? Because huwezi toa mmea hapa and then tomorrow you come uanze kunini tena.
Yes.
So you have to give it a break. Unakuja unalima, you dig up the place. Unaipea like a duration of 2 weeks, then unamwagilia the manure. Alafu from there, now you start, kama it's a seedbed you wanna prepare, you prepare your seedbed. Kama ni pahali unataka tu kuleta another crop, but huwezi rudisha. So we do the rotation.
Okay.
Kama hapo sahi kuna hii Chinese cabbage, maybe ukikuja next time utapata kuna spinach. Because before turudi hapa tena, the nutrients za Chinese cabbage ziko sawa. Yeah.
Okay. So now the rotation part. In a year, of course we have different seasons of the weather and how plants usually grow.
Yeah.
So when it comes to this Chinese cabbage, when you look at the year, how long or how many times are you going to plant it? Because now that you've said 50 to 70 days or 80 days, do you recommend that someone can plant it even 3 times a year or 4 times a year? Or would you recommend that a farmer, just the way you've said, gives the farm time to,
to recover?
To recover?
For me, I would say like about most 2 times a year.
Okay.
Yeah, because you are rotating your crops, right? So ukitoa hii Chinese cabbage hapa utaipeleka pahali kwingine.
Okay.
Right? Hapa utakuja kupanda kitu kingine. So for me, I do recommend 2 times a year. But in that hizo mara mbili, make sure na wewe umepanda something that will give you kitu fit. Yeah.
Right. So also on the varieties that we have, of course, of the Chinese cabbage, are there different other varieties of the Chinese cabbage that maybe have not really made any strides, especially in Kenya, because it's a rather new vegetable.
Yeah,
it's not very common.
Yeah,
so if there are other varieties, would you advise maybe for that? And also, this particular Chinese cabbage, can it be grown, your region is very different from maybe the other areas, especially the ASAL regions, the areas that rainfall is not as much. So you can also give us perspective about that.
Okay, for us, the one we are growing now, it's the Napa cabbage. Kwa Chinese cabbage kuna kadha, but for us, I guess this one is doing it. The Napa cabbage is doing well very here. So for me, I would say, for those in the central region, you can try the Napa cabbage. It's doing well. For those who want to try, they can start with this one. If it doesn't go well, then you can try the other varieties. Yeah.
All right. And also, when it comes to the soil pH of the shamba, now that we are speaking about different regions, if plant is grown in a very a soil that is a bit swampy, where the water is so much, does that really affect it? Because now that you've said it needs a lot of water, what goes into that? Does it thrive in a place where there's too much water, or it needs a place like this where there's red soil?
It doesn't necessarily need the red soil.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because when you go to other parts, you'll find a different soil. But it does well in a soil pH of 5.5 to 6.5.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and about the water, I said you water it, but it doesn't have it must not be water robbed.
Okay.
Yeah, because it will destroy it have a very tiny root, tap root, and with some small veins, so it will destroy it, and
Okay.
your crop will rot. So
Okay.
it doesn't need water robbed. No,
All right.
don't try them. Yeah.
All right. So before you go for break, you're a young person who has decided to do this very unique type of vegetable.
Yeah.
When you look at the embrace that it has gotten in the country, in Kenya especially, and around the region, what would you say, and what do you think needs to be done in order for it at least to get into the market?
For me, I can say the Chinese cabbage is doing well. People are, even the people in around my area are coming for it. I'm selling it to them. Mm-hmm. And when you go to like the big supermarket, you find it there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess people are doing it because it mostly is used for salads. So you'll get people are going for it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very good for salads.
All right, thank you so much for giving us your insights. That was really good. All right, we're going to go for a short break, but when we come back, we're going to continue with the conversation. We're going to be looking at Chinese cabbage in the market and how Kenyans are receiving it and also how it is performing. So don't go too far. We'll be back with more.
Kuwa mkono ambao unalima ardhi, mlango wa mkulima, kuwa mshindi, kuwa na uhakika sasa, kulea mustakabali wa baadaye. Tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja, kuimarisha Kenya ni jukumu la Farm Kenya.
All right, welcome back. And today we are speaking about Chinese cabbage. Before the break, we were speaking about the market. And now let's get right into the conversation and look at how this particular vegetable is performing in the market. All right, so when you look at the Chinese cabbage and its receivership in the market, if you compare it, let's just compare. If you compare it with other different vegetables, what would you say is its receivership?
I can say, unajua bado watu hawajijua in the first place. I guess the people from my area waliona for the first time. And I can say for now, kuna wenye tu bado wako kwa the old ones, but kuna wenye wana embrace. Because ukikuja hapo mwambie bei anakuambia hapana hiyo siwezi. So like I can say, but tunaipeleka Thika town. That's where mostly utaipata tukiuza. I can say it's doing well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And now let's look at the market value of this particular vegetable, and look at, especially because you said supermarkets are buying it, and maybe restaurants if possible. So when it comes to the whole, the way it looks in the market, the value, does it have so much value as you would say maybe cabbage, the normal cabbage, the normal kale? Yes. Yeah,
it does have value because it contains vitamin A, vitamin K, it contains calcium and potassium. So it really does good for the body and for your health. So you have to get it. Yeah.
All right.
Even if it's very expensive, expensive thing, nayo lazima ikuwe inakusaidia.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's okay. And now let's look at exports. Of course, this particular seedlings, the plant is not really very popular in this country.
Yeah, it's not.
And that's why it's even called Chinese cabbage. When you look at how different people are using it, especially when it comes to the market price, when it comes to taking it to different locations, in terms of how it is performing in these different types of markets, because you've said around here people are really receiving it very well. They're coming for it. Now, when it comes to different areas that you usually sell it to, what would be your perspective, especially when it comes to how the market over those sides is really taking this?
I can say in the first few weeks, like 3 weeks, it was trouble. Ilikuwa shida kuuza. But after watu wameembrace na wamejua maana yake, I guess they really walichukulia. And people right now, by the way, people wanaiulizia sana. And that's why you can see we are doing more and more of them. And I can say, like, people should embrace it. It's very good.
Let's look at the production of this particular type of vegetable, and how much can a farmer spend on this? Because you see, you are buying the seedling, you are taking care of the vegetable, you are making sure that the farm is well maintained, you are harvesting it, and you're taking it to the market. So the whole production, from your perspective, how much would you say?
You know, it depends. If you have your own manure, kama wewe unapata manure yako, maji, na kama bado uko na wafanyikazi, na the price yenye utapata the seedling, utauziwa the seedlings. So like the production, it's not expensive. We can say it's fair.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fair.
All right.
Yeah. Kama maji ni yako, kama manure ni yako, but you have to pay the wages to the workers. So it's kind of, tunaweza sema iko fair.
All right.
Yeah.
Haya. So tuangalie competition. Because of course unajua una compete na cabbage, una compete na una compete na sukuma. So when it comes to competition, how is this influencing you, and how is it enabling you now to even move on? Because remember, you are competing with a vegetable that is there in almost every home. You know. Yeah. So how is that for you?
You know, tunasemanga asiyekubali kushindwa sema mshindani.
Lazima ukubali kushindwa.
Mimi sijakubali bado. That's what unaona na kazana. And I can say, like, you have to compete for you to emerge the winner. So tulianza na hatutaacha. So lazima tukazane tufike hapo. To compete na hizo cabbage lazima tutaziweka chini.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's look at the local markets. Of course, markets around this area, and when it comes to how, first of all, do you have challenges with maybe brokers? Do you have challenges with, because you know, if you're taking this particular vegetable to the market, everyone is wondering, okay, why is this coming here? So how do you get to the market?
For me, I'm not the one who does the market thing.
Okay.
My mom does.
Okay.
For me, it's about planting, napalilia, na maji, then mom takes this to the market. Yeah. So about the market, I can't really tell, but ananiambia stiff competition iko, but brokers hakuna, because she's the one who is dealing with it.
Okay.
Maybe tuseme like when she goes there and hazijaisha, maybe that's when anaweza kuja akwambie, niliachia mtu akiniuzia na huko, ama niliuza at e price. Yeah.
Okay. And when it comes to production risk, let's look at the, of course, climatic conditions that we spoke about, but I want you to give me how this is affecting you getting to your targeted maybe harvest or targeted market, and also how is it that the disease that you said, the aphids, how does it affect the quality of this particular vegetable, especially when you are looking at it going to the market?
I can say, like, the diseases, for the ones like 2 times nimepanda. About the disease, I can say about much, because hakujakuwa na diseases, and I thank God for that. About the climatic conditions, that time the cold season yenye imeisha, it was tough. Actually, it was tough.
Oh, the cold season, right?
Yeah, it was tough, because maintaining this one, because they need sunlight, and that time ukizipea maji, unaona like zinajikokota kumea. So like, and that's why you can see like easy zilikuwa za hiyo time, that's why ziko hivyo because sasa hii jua ishatokea. And I can say like most probably about the pests, we thank God akuja kuwa na so much. It's only monkeys, but monkeys zinakuja tu zinaangalia alafu zinaenda.
Oh, monkeys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zinaangalia tu because haziwezi kula hii kitu, I guess zinaenda. Yeah.
All right. So let's look at consistency, supply consistency, and also even scale. The supply consistency, when you're talking about it, is how often is this vegetable available in the market? You now as a farmer, and as much as the market part is being taken care of by another person, when it comes to the time that you've already harvested, you've sold your produce, consistency, how do you make sure that at least these customers are there even the next time you harvest? Because as you said, in a year you would maybe plant like twice.
Hii kitu ni venye utajipanga. The first place, it's the way you plan yourself, because you can like say kuna hizi zenye ziko ready to go to the market, kuna zenye ziko kwa seedbeds, right? So before hizi ziishe, zile zitakuwa zishamea. So like you have to, kama clients wanahitaji, you have to keep supplying to them. So you have to be consistent.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let's look at supermarkets and people who usually depend on this particular vegetable, and how often you make sure that at least you're supplying to them. Because if maybe you've planted in January and you've harvested in, let's say,
Around
March,
April.
So you'll supply it to the supermarket in April or May, right? And then the next time you'll supply it to the supermarket, maybe it's in September, right?
Yeah.
So how do you calculate how this is giving back to your farm?
I can say like we have already started now, and we are not yet there to supply to the supermarkets. And when we get there, I guess it will be a lot of work, and we have to do it because you have to be consistent. Like each and every time they need you, you have to be you have to have the Chinese cabbage, the wape. So you have to consistently be always on your farm, digging, do upate the supply. Yeah.
Okay.
So when we get there, about that, tutajua.
All right.
Yeah.
So cost of inputs, when it comes to the organic manure that you're using, where do you usually source it from? And if you're like sourcing it maybe locally from your place, or you're making it by yourself. So if a farmer is planning to use organic type of manure, what are they looking at in terms of the waste, in terms of what they need to put in the organic manure in order for it to serve this particular vegetable?
For me, I use the chicken manure, which I source it from my local people, wando huwa wanatuuzia, and you can see it's good. I can recommend it 100% because I have not tried any other type of manure. For me, I would say I go with the chicken manure. Yeah. Because hata hiyo ukienda kununua inakuanga already iko fine. So utakuja tu ni kuweka tu kwa mtaro yako ama kwa the holes wewe unapanda. Yeah.
And have you tried using maybe if not chicken, using the livestock, the other different types of manure that are there?
Yeah, tumetumia ya nguruwe. Yeah, kuna huko tumetumia ya nguruwe huko, and you can see it's doing well. So for me, I'll go with those two.
Just those two?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's very well explained.
Yeah.
Now, let's look at the different types of markets that we have in the country. Of course, we have the export market, and we have the local market. So have you tried the export market? And if not, is it something that you would want to look at in terms of maybe you taking this into different types of countries that we export to?
Yeah. That's something I'm looking up. Bado sija okay. For now, I'm doing the local markets. About the international markets, I'm not yet there, but that's something I'm looking forward to do, because in kitu, like I can say it's good and it's very marketable. Maybe na huko nje, but near future, very soon, I'm gonna start the international market. Yeah.
All right. So we had spoken about the seasons in a year. We had spoken about the different types of months that we have in the seasons. So when you look at the year, which months or which seasons usually produce the best produce? Just remember it, because I believe you know.
Yeah, I know.
Which
I know.
months usually produce that, and what could be the reason for that, so that at least we also understand how this works.
In the first, I told you that it requires a lot of water and it requires sunlight. So it means you have to harvest between hizo the time kuna maji mingi na kuna jua, because it thrives well kukiwa na jua. So you have to calculate within the seasons, you have to calculate your time, ujue hii jua inakujanga at this point na jua inakuanga mingi at this point, because like I told you, like the time of July, they took long to grow. So you have to calculate yourself, even if you are doing the farming, you have to like lazima ujipange, ujue nitapanda at this month, nita harvest at this month, because tuseme roughly they take 4 months to the harvest from the seed bed ukuje transplant, then it takes like 2 to 3 months ndo ikuwe ready. So you have to calculate your time. You have to ujue season inakuanga hivi, but mostly usiache July ipate dini zako kwa shamba.
Okay.
Because that time it's wet.
So which 2 months?
I would recommend from me kuna kuwa na mvua, but kuna kuwa na jua bado, but I would choose April, September.
Okay.
April, September.
So the time to plant or harvest? Harvest.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you harvesting in September, you should have planted in
around
July.
May.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's good. Some good insights. So when it comes to also labor, the labor and how many people are supposed to be helping you, because I believe during the day, as you water, as you make sure that at least the mulch is put very well, and everything else, you have people who help you. So when it comes to you taking care of maybe the labor, can a farmer do all this by himself or herself, or what does it require for you personally?
I don't think I can handle all this by all myself. We do it 3 people. That's me and my workers over there, and that's how we help one another. So unapata kama wanafanya huko, mi nanyunyizia maji, and then when I'm done I join them. Yeah, kama ni kupea manyua, kuna mwenye anaweka manyua kwa the holes, kuna mwenye ana water na kuna mwenye anakuja kama anazipanda. Yeah, that's how we do it. Yeah.
Now, post-harvesting. Post-harvesting, before they are taken to the market, and also how do you plan to move forward, even because I believe as you continue, the sizes will increase.
Yeah.
There will be many, because as you've said, there are very many people who want it.
Yeah.
So what are you looking at in terms of post-harvest handling?
I guess on that, we say each and everything we take a step at a time. Okay, for now we are doing it like the manual, but in the near future, that's something I'm looking up to. Maybe I'll get a cooler. After nime harvest, I go and put them there, and then for the night, and then they are ready for the market. Yeah. Ama when I can do, like when you have it, unajua ukiwa nayo unaweza harvest any time of the day, as long as it's like isha maliziwa, isha harvest, so you just take it to the cooler and it will be ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Lastly, before we conclude this particular conversation, what is your advice to young people out there who maybe want to get into farming, but they're still skeptical about it, and the challenges that you've been able to encounter while doing this? How have you been able to come up out of the challenges?
I can say, young people, they don't like working. Hawataki kuchoka. They want like the easy money. For me, I would say like it's tough, but you have to do it. You have to. When you choose it, do it. Usiamke unasema kesho nitafanya.
Yes.
When you decide it, amua hapo na uende uifanye. Yeah. So watu waache kusema hakuna job. Job iko.
Okay.
Ni wewe hujaanza.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Job iko, ni wewe hujaanza.
Yeah.
Right, that's it from Farm Kenya. Today we were speaking about Chinese cabbage. I believe you've learned a lot. I personally have learned a lot, especially when it comes to how you need to take care of this plant and how you plant it. My name is Kelvin Yakundi. Let's meet next time right here on Farm Kenya.
Kuwa mkono ambao unalima ardhi, mlango wa mkulima, kuwa mshindi, kuwa na uhakika sasa, kulea mustakabali wa baadaye. Tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja, kuimarisha Kenya ni jukumu.